not already. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pet Pawcast today. I'm your host, Dr. Roberta Westbrook, and we are here at the Houston SPCA, the campus for all animals. And we have a really, really wonderful subject for you today. We're going to be talking about small mammals and small pets. So maybe you're interested in looking for a new pet to take into your family, and you're not sure if you want a dog or a cat, and maybe you haven't even considered taking in a guinea pig or a rabbit or a ferret or even a rat or mouse or a hamster or a gerbil. There's so many small pets that you can take in and into your family, and we're going to talk about some of the benefits of bringing one of those pets into your home. So consider coming on down to our adoption center and taking a look at all the wonderful pets that we have available for you. We have dogs, cats, puppies, kittens, and rabbits and guinea pigs. And so if you're thinking of bringing one of these animals into your home, we may be able to help you do that. So visit our campus. We are open daily from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. There's no appointment necessary, and you don't need to wear a mask to come in. Just come on and bring your friends and family. So start getting your questions ready, and hopefully I can give you some tips and tricks on bringing in a small pet to your home. And if you want to take a moment and take a look at this adorable pet named Snickerdoodle that we have up for adoption. Snickerdoodle is a ferret. She is approximately 2-year-old female. She's having a great time there exploring, having a great time. Ferrets can be wonderful family pets, very, explorative. They're very active. They can get into a lot. So ferrets, you got to really be on top of. They can be just like a dog or a cat in terms of trying to train them and trying to make sure that they have a happy life. So come on down and take a look at all the pets we have available. So let's talk about small pets, because maybe you don't have time for a dog or a cat, or you're wondering, what is the time difference between, what it takes to care for a dog or a cat versus a small pet? So there are some obvious differences, right? When you have a dog or a cat, typically they are free roaming in your home, in your living room. They have kind of the free reign of the house, and that has some pros and cons. When we're talking about small pets like ferrets and rabbits and guinea pigs, oftentimes they spend time inside housing units. So those can be cages. Sometimes those cages are multi-tier levels, so that ferrets, for example, can kind of crawl up and down ladders and tunnels and kind of explore in their cages. Rabbits and guinea pigs often have just large square type enclosures. And certainly these pets can be left out into your home to explore, to run and jump around, and that's perfectly fine. But oftentimes they spend more time inside their enclosure. And so I think that's a big difference. Another big difference, it's kind of more like cats in that you don't typically take your ferrets and rabbits and guinea pigs outdoors for exercise outdoors, although you could do that. You certainly can put them in your backyard or train your ferret or your rabbit to hop or walk on a leash, that is possible to train them to do that. So you can do that, but it's not required. And so in that way, you may require less time to care for a small mammal or a small pet like a ferret or a rabbit or a guinea pig than it might take to take care of your dog or cat. So just a little bit less investment in the way of exercise. You can certainly enrich them. You can look at Snickerdoodle, who has like a little baseball and some toys in her enclosure here. Those are really good options to keep your small pets engaged and enriched. So not only do we want to make sure that they have great housing available, but we want to stimulate their minds as well. And toys can do that. Particularly guinea pigs and ferrets like to tunnel. So having, little contraptions very similar to this. This is probably a little bit small for a guinea pig or ferret, but you can buy systems of this and you can build them all over your house. You can have quite a lot of fun with these tunneling systems, and it's really good. This works for gerbils, for rats, for mice, for ferrets. And so these little tunneling systems can be very good for enrichment. For some of our small mammals as well, our small pets as well, the rodents, a little exercise wheel. They can just spend tons of time on this exercise wheel, and it can be really enjoyable and exciting for us to watch them exercise themselves. So those pets definitely need enrichment. Another big part of enrichment is not only toys, maybe getting outside in the backyard and getting some exercise outdoors and some fresh air. But another part of enrichment is actually having another member of the same species living with them. So if you've ever thought, okay, should I get a rabbit and a guinea pig or a ferret? And then should I get two of them? Then the answer might be yes. These are very sociable animals. Rabbits, guinea pigs, and ferrets are very sociable. They often do very well in pairs or in small groups. And so this could be a way that they provide enrichment, peace, and comfort in their home environment. And what more fun for you and your family and kids if you had two ferrets like Snickerdoodle. So what questions can I help you with?
So somebody asked, do you know how ferrets go to the restroom?
Oh, how? Well, I never thought about how. I guess just like other animals. Not sure. You might have stumped me on that one.
Like, do
how
they do litter, like a litter box, or like how do you go about
Oh, yes, they can go in a litter box. I thought you meant physically. How do they go? Well, they just go. Yes, you can certainly litter box train rabbits and guinea pigs and ferrets. So they absolutely can learn to do this. So if you have a litter box for them, training them is much like you would do for a dog or cat. You can train them with treats, so that every time you notice that they are going in the litter box, you can give them a treat. They associate urinating and defecating in the litter box with a positive reward, and you can litter box train them in that way. So yes, you do not have to walk them outside like you might do a dog.
Another question is, what do they have similar vet care as cats and dogs? Like, do they need the same vaccines?
Great questions. So let's start with guinea pigs. There are no vaccines necessary for guinea pigs. So that's very good there. Nothing that we're concerned with that there's a vaccine that has been produced for. Rabbits are the same way. So in the United States, we don't vaccinate rabbits against any contagious diseases. In the United Kingdom, there are some pretty severe and near fatal diseases that's more common in those geographical regions that rabbits can be vaccinated for. But here in the United States, there's no approved vaccinations for rabbits, and it's not necessary. Now, ferrets are different. Ferrets can get some contagious diseases similar to what dogs get. And so ferrets, it's recommended to vaccinate them against rabies and also distemper virus. And you can find those with your family veterinarian. Talk to them about your new pet and talk to them about what vaccines they may recommend or not for your pet ferret.
So are there any diseases that if I have a cat or dog that I should be worried about if I bring like a guinea pig home?
So the most common things that are transmissible between different species of pets are going to be things like external parasites. So again, if you have a pet that has ringworm or a pet that has ear mites or mange, those things can often be transmitted between species just with close contact. And so I would make sure that your pets have been deemed clear of any contagious diseases before you let them interact with each other. And they also need to interact with supervision, because you want to make sure that if you have a dog or a cat, that you don't just introduce your guinea pig or your ferret or your rabbit to your dog or cat right away. Because dogs and cats tend to be predators, and these other species tend to be prey for the dogs and cats. And it could potentially be stressful if you introduce your small pet, like your rabbit or your ferret or your guinea pig, to a dog or cat who might be looking at that small pet as prey. So you want to make sure that you keep it under supervision, and that you know the personality of your dog or cat, and hopefully there's no accidents that occur.
And can I take my small pets to any veterinarian, or do I have to go to a specialist?
That's a great question. I would say if you're looking for a veterinarian for your small pet, you certainly do not need to go to a specialist, but you do need to research veterinarians that do see small pets and small mammals and rodents, because not all veterinarians see what we call rodents, small mammals, or exotic animals. Some veterinarians stick to companion animals, which we tend to think of as dogs and cats. Some veterinarians do large animals, but certainly have veterinarians who will see any species of animal, and that might include the rabbits, rodents, and ferrets.
Somebody asks, my daughter's allergic to cats. Will they also be allergic to small mammals?
Oh, allergies to pets. It is very possible, but it's not guaranteed. So if your child, or if you are allergic to cats, it doesn't always mean that you're going to be allergic to guinea pigs or rabbits or ferrets, but certainly there is something to be said for having animal allergies. And so it's common to have allergies to multiple species of animals. So you do want to make sure that you are in contact with your human physician and make sure that you're making the right decision for your family so that you can prevent any illnesses that might develop from adoption.
What are the type of diets a small mammal would have versus a cat or dog?
So the easiest thing to start with, if you're not sure what to feed your small mammal, is to go to a local pet store and purchase a commercial diet that has been specifically made for that species of animal. So you can buy ferret diets, you can buy rabbit diets and guinea pig diets. That might be the easiest place to start. One of the things I do want to highlight as it relates to guinea pigs is that guinea pigs do not synthesize their own vitamin C. So those of you who have guinea pigs or thinking about adopting a guinea pig, you might know that guinea pigs need to have vitamin C added to their diet. So that's really important. If they don't have vitamin C added to their diet, they can get a bone disease. We want to prevent that. And you can do that through providing vitamin C fortified dry pelleted diets that you can get from your local pet store. You can provide fresh vegetables, and those things can help you to provide vitamin C for your guinea pig. But certainly these pets love fresh veggies, fruits, treats, pelleted food. Timothy hay is very important for rabbits. So all of these things can help you. But please see your family veterinarian for a specific diet for your pet, and they can give you more information about what they feel is best for your pet.
Somebody asks, my guinea pig is still scared of my kids. What are some tips so that they can become more comfortable together?
Guinea pigs, especially if they have not been handled, can be quite skittish. So they tend to want to run from you. They don't want to be held. I would say just take your time and move slow. So kids oftentimes want to reach in and grab their pet and hug them tight. And sometimes with rabbits and guinea pigs, they can be quite skittish. So start off slow, move very slow, and be very gentle with your guinea pig. And over time, they will get much more used to handling. But I would say keep your guinea pig in a quiet area so that they stay calm, and teach your child how to properly pick up the guinea pig, and just move very slowly. And in due time, it'll all be well.
Do these pets can they be spayed or neutered as well?
They certainly can. Again, not every veterinarian does spaying and neutering for small pets, for small males. And so contact your veterinarian to see if they recommend and if they perform that particular procedure. Certainly, rabbits and guinea pigs can reproduce very quickly. And so you want to make sure that if you have a male and a female and they're both intact, you could wind up with some babies really quickly, and that can happen over and over again. So make sure that maybe you could at least get the male neutered or the female spayed, and that way there's no chance of having litters that maybe you're not prepared for. We want to make sure that if you have litters that you are prepared for them, that you can find them adequate homes. Certainly they can be spayed and neutered, guinea pigs and rabbits. We do those rabbit surgeries here all the time. And so if you adopt your rabbit in particular from the Houston SPCA, it will be spayed and neutered at the time of adoption for you.
My guinea pig freezes sometimes when they're scared. Is that normal?
Yes, that's normal. So we all know kind of the fight or flight response where you're scared. You either can become aggressive or you can run. Well, there's another part of that. There's fight, flight, and there's also freeze. So some animals don't really charge at you in aggression and they don't run. Their method of defense is just to freeze. And so that means that you just need to take your time, give them a break, and try to socialize them very slowly.
There's a myth that small mammals are less work than a dog. Is that true?
Well, again, it depends on what you think is work. So, we were talking about housing earlier. When you're talking about having your pets in an enclosure or in a cage, for example, it does mean that enclosure requires some cleaning. So when you're thinking about dogs and cats, they're living in your home, they're living with you, you're taking them outside to urinate and defecate. It's more active work for you and your family, but there may be less cleaning involved in some cases. But when you're talking about an enclosure like a cage where you have a rat or a mouse or a gerbil or a rabbit, those enclosures need to be cleaned regularly. You need to make sure that you're getting feces and soiled bedding out of those cages. You want to make sure that you're replacing fresh water and food on a daily basis. You've got to buy fruits and veggies for them. And so that's a different change as well in terms of their needs. And so it's just different work. It may be less work in some cases, but it's certainly different work. And small mammals still need love and attention and care. And so we don't want you to just kind of, set them in your living room and let them be. We want you to interact with them. We want them to be a part of your family.
Somebody asked, do you know why ferrets have a distinctive smell?
Oh, yes. Don't we love that smell? So ferrets have anal glands like dogs and cats. And typically those anal glands are what we call scent glands. And so typically in the U.S., any ferrets that are sold by breeders or pet stores, those ferrets are descented. So they have the scent glands removed. And that does help with the smell. But it's common. Dogs and cats have scent glands as well, anal glands as well. We just don't typically remove them. In ferrets, that smell can be very offensive. And so typically breeders and pet stores who sell ferrets will have those scent glands removed before adoption by a veterinary surgeon, just to kind of dull the smell and make them a little bit more family friendly.
Somebody has a guinea pig, but it's having trouble introducing them to another guinea pig. So are they social animals, or sometimes does it depend on their personality?
Sure, they're social animals and they tend to do well in pairs or groups. But again, there may be a guinea pig that if he or she is thriving as a solo guinea pig and they are being incorporated into family activities and they're getting lots of love and care, then they may not need to have a guinea pig partner because they've got you as family. And so it's not necessary that they have another guinea pig partner, but most of the time they do well in small groups together.
Do bunnies require extra dental or grooming?
Oh, yes. So bunnies tend to wear their teeth down through chewing. And so out in nature, they wear that down naturally through chewing on things in the environment. But when we have a rabbit as a pet, and they are in an enclosure and they're not exposed to everything that they would be in nature, sometimes their teeth can continue to grow. They can overgrow. And so particularly the bottom teeth, the incisors in a rabbit, sometimes they continue to grow. And in cases where we don't maintain those teeth being trimmed, sometimes those teeth can grow and cause damage to the upper roof of the mouth and to the lip and to the nose. So taking your rabbit into your veterinarian on a regular basis, having them check the teeth, making sure the teeth are getting worn down appropriately is going to be key. Making sure that they get nail trims appropriately is going to be key. Because remember, these pets are in our home and they're not really getting the exposure that they would in nature to keep their teeth and their nails worn down.
What are some signs to look for if my guinea pig is ill?
So if your guinea pig is ill, I would look for things like not eating, becoming lethargic. Those would be keys. Lethargy, not eating. I would say take your guinea pig into your family veterinarian and make sure what they're going to do is make sure that you have proper husbandry practices in place first. A lot of times with small mammals and rodents, a lot of their illnesses can be fixed with proper diet and husbandry. So husbandry is just how they're living every day. What is their enclosure like? What is the bedding that they're sleeping on? What kind of diet are they eating? Those are the things that we focus on because lots of their health issues can be fixed with that. And so if you notice that your guinea pig is feeling ill, I would say contact your family veterinarian. They're going to make sure that we're doing everything right in husbandry, and then they'll try to find a solution to whatever illness they find.
So do you recommend small mammals for children?
I think it's a great place to start for children. It's a great place. So a rabbit, a guinea pig, a mouse, hamster, gerbil, those are great places to start for kids. Remember that sometimes the smaller mammals, mice and gerbils and rodents, sometimes they are known to nibble and to kind of give you little bites. So make sure that if you're getting one of those small animals that your children are taught how to handle them, how to move slow, so that there are no injuries there. But always a great place to start for kids to have a small pet. So I know that's a lot of information, and we are enjoying Snickerdoodle and our ferret here today, our ferret guest. Please consider coming on down to the Houston SPCA to visit our adoption center and consider taking a pet home with you. If you're not going to visit us, you can always visit our website and take a look at the animals that we have available for adoption. That's at HoustonSPCA.org. And if you're interested in becoming part of our extended family, go to HoustonSPCA.org/donate. You can give financially. You can also become a part of our volunteer team or our foster team. There's always things that you can do to help us save more lives. So thank you so much for joining us today for the Pet Pawcast, and we will see you next week. Have fun.